And we're back. What is up, everybody? Hey, it's been a minute. Well, I was going to try to start with some tunes, but I had to reboot my computer, and then it was taking too long to get restarted, so I ditched that effort. Let's see. California was fun. I did not get to go to the Alameda Flea because of cataclysmic storms on the cataclysmic storms in California. The proverbial what is it? River in the sky dumped on them, which means it rained some. And since California doesn't know what to do in rain, they all just freaked out and canceled everything and closed all the businesses, and most of the power didn't work, and blah blah blah. So I didn't get to go to any flea markets. Did the tiniest little bit of sourcing. Meh. Didn't really, nothing really to speak of. Enough to write off the trip. And then let's see what else. Yeah, sales were shitty the whole time I was gone. I haven't broken $300 in a day since I left. A big part of that, I think, is increasing my handling time from same day to 3 days. That definitely was a difference. But then looking around, some of the other YouTubers out there, everything seems to be really shitty. There's not a lot of items that I have sold that are more than £1. There's got to be something. There's got to be some shit going on with eBay. That's all I got to say. They're just looking at everything, how everything just sort of fell off a cliff right around the first, and it hasn't even come close to recovering. Something weird's going on. So, anyways, let's not dwell on the negative, and let's take a look at the positive things we sold while we were gone. This is not everything. I shipped out a bunch of stuff yesterday. I didn't go live. Just time constraints. I needed to get stuff like packed and shipped super fast. So here we have a Christmas postcard. Bunch of kids gathering a very small Christmas tree, killing it in the prime of its youth. 626, striking it down. Residents of James Blaine in Augusta, Maine. Lowercase j. I'm pretty sure that's how he would have wanted it. $2. Dante's Inferno Geyser in Geyserville, California, sold for $2.95. Chrome postcard. Bird's Eye View of Harper's Ferry, West Virginia, $5.95. Bunch of kids coming down a toboggan hill in Canada. $2.95 on this one. Valentine's Day card. This one has been in the store for some time. Sold for $3.75 plus the shipping. This one's kind of interesting. Another Valentine card, but super cool. This is definitely sort of like 1920s Art Deco era, like pretty, maybe Nouveau you could say, but I would probably say Deco, just because the coloring on the back and how they like stuff like that. Kids on a Big Globe, that's also kind of a giveaway. But then this one was sent in postmarked in 1924, and then postmarked again in 1973. Which is interesting, just because, it got reused 50 years after it got used the first time. And I just think that's neat. And now it's going to somebody else who may use it a third time. It's been about 50 years, right? So every 50 years, this postcard gets used. That's kind of neat. World War I, patriotic flag, stars and stripes, $4.95. Pierre Marquette number 18 steamer. Before the shipwreck, had to do some research on this one. It is a shipwrecked steamer ship. Later on, $12.55. Pierre Marquette is, I believe, the one of the Lake Superior ferries, if I'm not mistaken, or Lake Erie, one of the two. Palisades of the Hudson River. Looks like somebody needed to clean their scanner. $3.95. Undivided back. Here we got a 4th of July. So we sold Christmas, 4th of July, and Valentine's Day all in the last few days. $13.45 giant firecracker. Dual view banner greetings, Mobile, Alabama. $3.75. This is the Farallon Islands Bird Rookery. I've actually sold this card a few times now. It always sells relatively quickly, right in that like $4 to $8 range. I put this one at $6. Westward Ho Motel in Big Spring, Texas, $1.95. Linen. Just a big bale of hay. Harvesting hay. This was part of one of the early lots of postcards I bought off of eBay that was all agricultural. And they've sold very well. This has been around for a while. It sold for $6.76 plus ship. Log boom for the mill in Washington. You have likely seen this card if you've ever seen cards from the Pacific Northwest. Oftentimes it's actually attributed to California, sometimes Oregon, sometimes Washington, but it's basically this exact same view. It actually extends into the linen era, and you'll see even similar ones in the chrome era. They're usually pretty non-specific. If I were to actually take a guess, I would guess that this mill in the background here is probably Aberdeen, Washington, but there's no way for me to be sure. I will note, however, how much of a penis that this structure looks like. That is all. $2.80. Panorama of Riverside, California, sold for $4.46. Divided back, unposted. Greenwood Tourist Court Motel in South Hill, Virginia, sold for $1.95. Nebraska Map View Greetings. I have a lot of these. $1.95. Probably 20 or so. This was just a single random listing that I, like, after listing a bunch of them, found this one. So I'm like, whatever. I've got the listing done. I'll just make a new one. Rather than, like, go downstairs and figure out where they are and blah, blah, blah. Just make a new one. Lake Lenape, boathouse in the Delaware Water Gap. Probably an Albertite, but the stamp is over it. When you see this writing, it's usually Albertype. It says Josh Graves, but that writing is pretty old Albertype-y. Palm House in Glen Oak Park, Peoria, Illinois, sold for $5. The Clubhouse, Elks Clubhouse in Peekskill, New York, also sold for $4.95. And last but not least, generic greeting. I listed this while I was in California. Generic greetings fishing scene from Vermilion, Ohio. I believe I misspelled that even. Nope, I spelled it right. Sold for $4.95. So there you have it. Oh yeah, could be. The buyer actually messaged me specifically about it. Was like, I hope this isn't a reproduction. I hope this is actually one that has two postmarks 50 years apart. And I'm like, yep, that's what it is. All right. Alrighty, let's get these postcards out. Yeah, it's I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Like, I had several like $120, $130 days while I was gone, which is shit. I was, it wasn't like I was offline. I was sending out offers. I was doing the things that you do. But yeah, it was pretty dismal several of those days. I don't know what's going on. I think it's probably also like I've been doing a lot of postcards, listing a lot of postcards over the past several months now, so I think I really need to start pivoting back into some hard goods, higher ASP, not ASP, yeah, higher ASP items, re-diversify a little bit. I really want to get the store up to about 30,000 as quick as I can, 30,000 listings, that is. Which is, I'm at like 28.2 right now. So it's not, if I focused on postcards only, I could crush that probably by the end of this month. But I don't think that's the best of plans. I think it's going to be probably try to get there about 50-50 postcards and other stuff. I don't know, what is everybody out there seeing? Told you what I saw. What are you seeing? Got to check for my combines these. So done. Everyone's so quiet. So nobody's seeing any sort of effect lately on sales, is what I'm gathering by the lack of response. Everything's fine. Is that what I'm gathering? What kind of YouTube channel is this if nobody complains when handed the opportunity on a platter? Clearly I'm doing something wrong. Or I'm doing something right and that I didn't. I curated a bunch of wieners and not a bunch of whiners. See what I did there, Dawn? See what I did there? I'm very proud. All right. Yep. You were here for the question. It was very general. How's everyone's sales? Have they been shitty since the start of the month? Have they been awesome? Are they the same? Have you seen any shift in what's selling, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Like, it's hard for me to really isolate like any issue because my handling time jumped from 1 to 3 days relatively quickly. So it's going to be skewed. But I will say that if you guys actually ship daily, it is worthwhile to change your handling time to same day and put in a cutoff time. Mine is 8 a.m. The sales difference is noticeable. It's a little scary, and you gotta make sure that you're actually shipping all on time. But I mean, I'm pretty much shipping every day, anyways. Plus, I would say if you're going to do that, it's a good idea to change to business policies so that if you need to go and change it, it's a lot easier and quicker to do it through business policies than it is to do any other way from what I've seen. Unless you've got a small store, then you just bulk at it. I was able to clean up my business policies, as was one of my goals to do while I was away. I'm pretty sure what happens is with end and sell similar, anytime it like gets an error for assignment, it just creates a copy of your policy, which is kind of a pain in the butt. And I had kind of let that go for 2 or 3 months, so I had a lot of superfluous business policies. I would no, and if you haven't seen the news, California was rained upon considerably. By Northwest standards, it was nothing. It's the same thing. Like all the Californians who have moved to Washington, the second it snows, a dusting, like everybody freaks out because they don't know how to drive in the snow, so the city just shuts down. It's the same thing with the rain in California. I went out to try to go to some thrift shops on Monday, and I saw the results of one accident. I almost witnessed another one because it was in a traffic light where the power was out, which, as everybody knows, when that happens, you just treat it as a 4-way stop. Unless you're in California, because you don't know what to do, because you've never seen rain before in your life, and it's your first time ever driving. Do I have a lot to say about California drivers? Yes, I do. They are the worst. Do you like being tailgated? Well, you should drive in California, because they will drive 3 inches from your ass whatever speed you're going on highway, on whatever. Like if you are a relatively like conscientious driver and you are driving at, you know, highway speed and you are trying to leave any amount of space between you and the car in front of you, you know, in case they were to stop quickly and you would have to do the same. Yeah, good luck doing that, because you will have people swerve across 3 lanes to take that 11 feet of space that is currently unoccupied because your lane is going a tenth of a mile per hour faster than the one they happen to be in. That is California driving. Yes, they do. eBay absolutely does. Why is because do you guys have different shipping prices on different days in Canada? Is that a real thing? Put your answer in the chat. I'll look at it when I come back. All right, I'm gonna catch up here. That was gotcha. That's hilarious. Oh, that's okay. That's cool. That makes sense. Yeah, I wish that you could have different handling times for international and domestic. Yeah, do you do free shipping, Dawn? Yeah, I didn't think so. I would. Have you ever actually done a side by side experiment of like, or is there certain items that you could probably get away with shipping same day Canada Post, like the more expensive one, or is what I'm suggesting a stupid thing? Oh, did I not print that one? I didn't print that one. I didn't print a bunch of them. What the hell? Like different shipping classes. It's kind of what I mean. Like, I mean, store categories and shipping policies. You probably, if you're using both of those things, you probably would be okay. I'd think. I mean, I definitely have several shipping classes. Like I have, because I sell knives, I have to have like an entire shipping policy that excludes international. Uh, I have, for big items, I have, UPS plus handling because I have to like leave the house. It's not that difficult, and I only screw a few things up, which I was doing without shipping policies. So Really? Oh, man. There's one short on the stiffeners. All right. We're going to pack up a 78 first, since that will help me get some of this paper out of here. All right, that was the postcards. There was a stack that went out that was about twice that big yesterday, so. All right, sold a 78 RPM record. There's 2-day handling on this. Why is there 2-day handling? Well, I'm going to ship it today anyways. King Cole Trio, which is Nat King Cole's trio. 18 and change. What do you do? Nice to get one of the sort of pain in the ass ones out of the way. Look at all this label backing. $18.59 was the final sale price here. What's up, BB? Oh, gotcha. So you're not using ebay.ca, you're using ebay.com. Interesting. My brother found a 78 of Mule Train yesterday. Has no idea where it came from. Interesting. That's yeah. I know the song. So I'm a little late to the party, but I've been I started watching while I was down in California Fargo, the show, not the movie. I love the movie. Started watching the show. I had started many times trying to watch it, starting in season 1, and it just never took. And then someone told me like every season's a different thing and its own thing. I'm like, oh, well, then I'm going to start in season 3. And it's the one with Ewan McGowan, and I ended up watching the entire season. It was awesome. And then that rolled me into season 4, which is the Chris Rock season, and like it sucked me in right away. So that's going to be my listing entertainment for the foreseeable future. All right, what do we want to ship next? Oh, I sold grab these things. Does anyone remember these things? I talked about them when I picked them up. Anyone remember what these are? These are for bulls. They're the lead ring. So you like grab the ring, pull the bull. These sold for $11.66. I think I got them free. I don't know for sure. And they're going to go flat rate. I mean, it could be also that calculated is $16 and ground advantage flat rate is, or not flat rate, ground advantage is off the rack is $9.21. That's a pretty significant difference in prices. I don't charge a handling time either, so, or a handling fee. Actually, I think I do. I think I charge 30 cents handling. So it may need to start doing a shipping discount. That's a big difference just for a 2-pound item. If I were shipping this ground advantage, it'd be $9.21. The customer paid $16. Calculated. That's a hefty price difference. Yeah, I can understand that. Also, like, well, you can change your ship from, right? You can change your ship from address. Sold West Side Story Special Edition DVD. Sold for $5. Certainly not something I would recommend writing home about. And this is probably going to need to not go in our normal envelope. Yeah, that makes sense. Plus, eBay will basically set your expected delivery date based on your ship from address. So yeah, I can definitely see how that could easily backfire. I sold another one of these Zima inflatable ornaments. I think I started with 5. I now have 3 remaining. This is the second one that's sold. These are vintage, new old stock, inflatable Zima ornaments. We had one in here off in the corner for a minute until it deflated, and then I was over it. Sold for $17.05. I think this is just going in a flat rate envelope as well. Maybe not even that. Yeah, 12 ounces. That's about right. You just throw it in the pad and then, yeah, there we go. That's what's happening. Now the difference between on a 12-ounce package is they paid $7, and that includes the 30-cent handling, I believe. And the cost is $5.62. So the second you get up into the 2-pound range, and this is, I mean, so I went back and all of my ground advantage stuff, as long as it wasn't like a big thing, I just changed all package dimensions to 10 inch by 10 inch by 10 inch. None of them are going to be that big, but that'll make sure that it doesn't like accidentally present a cubic weight to the customer. Because like a 1 by 1 by 1 package, from everything that I've seen, is no different than a 10 by 10 by 10. You basically have to get up over a cubic foot for that to make a difference. But again, it's an easily changed thing. I can just bulk it if I ever need to. Next, sold this Oscar Mayer hot dogs. Speaking of wieners, today's show is brought to you by Wieners. You guys remember the Oscar Mayer puppets? I got those out of the antique store. Sold a few of them right off the bat, and they've just kind of been sitting ever since, but that's okay. This one sold for $20. I'm already in the black on these, but I still have more to sell. Yeah. Ooh, do I send it in the Bill Cosby album cover? Maybe if we can, let's not. We'll use this one for turning into dividers. We will not use it for shipping. Scandal noted. I mean, I've noticed that as well. And this is also true as well. Yeah, I don't think that's a great. I think here's the thing is that, like, my sense of things, and this is just based on messages I get from customers and just in general, is that there's been a lot of price increases overall in shipping lately. And I think there's heightened customer sensitivity to shipping charges. I don't think many people really understand what the cost of shipping is. And I think that A, the increase in shipping charges, and B, the Amazon free shipping model, which is kind of dying now, or beginning to anyways. Free shipping, free returns, all that jazz. Not quite where it was 2 years ago. I think that, people don't know what it costs for shipping. Like, they don't know what it actually costs. Given, like, that gap between what eBay is. So that's the other thing, is like the drop in sales also correlates greatly, I think, to the again, correlation is not causation, but timing of it was right about when the rates changed, increased, and cubic shipping rolled in. I don't really, necessarily know that there's any correlation between those things, but there is, or any causation between those things, but definitely there's correlation. All right, next up, also from the antique store, these two Tasmanian 1994 paper table toppers. I got a bunch of these, different ones, but these were the only two Tasmanian double ones, sold for $8, which isn't amazing, but it ain't bad either. All right, how am I going to ship this? I think I know. It's 8 ounces. How many ounces did I say it was? It's going to end up being 9. 7.5 now. I put it in as 12. So I think what we're just going to do, pretty sure this will work. It may not work. It's not like I'm investing a lot of time or resources on it. As long as it's under 12. It's 11, so we're good. Yeah, that's basically why I stay calculated on almost everything except for standard envelope. I raised my standard envelope shipping charge by a nickel for the first time in like a year and a half. Like there was 3 price increases that I did not respond to in the period between my last increase and this increase. I don't think it's affected my postcard sales at all, except for one guy who, even after shopping and buying from me multiple times, like $1.35 per postcard is pretty middle of the road. There are a lot of even a lot of big sellers that are $1.50 to even $2, $2.25. There's a lot of sellers still doing first class for all their postcards. Sorry, Ground Advantage. I feel like my pricing is pretty middle of the road. All right, what do I want to do next here? We'll do 2 records, both going out different customers. First up is Melba Moore, Under Love, promo. Yeah, this has been in the store for 3-ish years, maybe, I think. 4, maybe 4. It's like a disco single. Sold for $7.25, which is, hey, it's been around that long. I can definitely say with confidence, like, whatever lot it came in has long since been paid for. Going to Brooklyn, probably to a DJ. Man, we're making good time. All right. The other record is The Cars with the Vargas cover. Such a good album. Cars, I think, are one of my favorite 80s bands. They're like sort of rock, sort of new wave, sort of dance. Like, they're just a fucking good band. You know? You know? That album came from the rummage sale, sold for $9. No, that was actually when I cleaned out my collection. Like, had a damaged inner, which is why. Yeah, and I mean, I think that a lack of information with customers or a lack of knowledge, like, what is reasonable shipping? That's a question, right? Like, is, paying between $5 and $10 for up to a pound a reasonable shipping price? I actually think it is. I mean, it's usually under $8 for up to a pound. I think for most people, they're fine with it. Is paying $16 for 2 pounds? That's where I think it gets stickier. All right, next up, I'm going to put it on screen because it's kind of funny. All right, if you've got kids in the room, shield your eyes because it's risque. It's a biker pin, reminiscent of the Harley Davidson wings. I think it's just funny. But it sold for 16 bucks. I don't remember, some amount. $15.25. I had a lot of lowballers on this over the last year. I listed it in February 2023, so it's been 1 year. Sold for $15.25. Where did I get it? I don't. I think I pulled it off a hat that I got for free. We're gonna do that. And where's my bubble wrap scrap? I need some bubble wrap scrap. Where is my bubble wrap scrap? Maybe there's some over there. That's odd. I usually have a shitload of that stuff kind of hanging around. Can you get away with that? You definitely can. You definitely are. As talk about good reuse of materials. Nice. Yeah, that there's a seller, the seller who I bought a couple of the big lots of postcards off of, basically the same thing. Like, you know, the 43 pounds of postcards, they had $175 shipping on it. I'm like, listen, like, if you were shipping this from Florida, it wouldn't cost $175 for shipping. And I'm okay with like charging a handling fee. That's fine, but this is a little excessive. Like, even rack rate, it wouldn't cost this much. And I mean, just that goes to show as well, like, some sellers don't know what it costs for shipping, right? Like, I mean, I'm sure that was just a typo for that particular seller, but there are definitely stores out there that I've seen that have just insane, crazy bananas. All right, let's see here. Sold to Burke. Harry Plopper in the Order of the Phoenix. This sold for $4.95. And maybe like that. Yeah, let's try that. There's only a few things left to go, so. Probably time to change the blade. One more there. I got this, the Harry Plopper book at garage sale. I think I paid $1 for 3 Harry Potter books. And then I got another book on manners for free. Like, the agreement was if I bought the books, I would have to take this other book, which is the best way to run a garage sale. Like, if you give somebody a deal, making them take something else that you don't want to have to deal with at the end of the sale, it's a very, very good strategy. One that whenever I have garage sales, I do my best to employ. And one I definitely appreciate at other garage sales when other people are employing it. I said Harry Plopper, but it's a Simpsons joke. It's the name of Homer Simpson's pig in the Simpsons movie. You know, the one is the spider pig. Spider pig does whatever a spider pig does. That one. All right, sold this. All right, cool. Tacoma Beautiful book. It's a modern reproduction of this book, so it's not vintage. It just looks like it's vintage. Sold for $14.36. And is it going to fit? It's going to be pretty darn close to that. So we're just going to run with that. That's interesting. The last two were both the same. The Yale Alley Cats. They're the same. You know what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring back one of these. We're just going to make sure that this gets protected on the top. And maybe give it a tape down. Tape down. Yeah. You know, just to make sure it don't go no ways. Gonna fit? Not gonna fit. What if I do it that way? Still ain't gonna happen. Okay, fine. Get 2 of these. These will fit. Yes, they will. So I will tell a story that is kind of hilarious. When so I was staying down in a little town that was not too far away from San Francisco, Oakland. It's a little bit north, but it overlooks the Carqueñas Bridge, and it's really probably most notable for having a C&H sugar refinery and packaging plant, which is how the town was built. And the refinery plant is still there. It's been there for over 100 years. It's very, not a big town, very small town, kind of, coastal feel to it, blah, blah, blah. And walking down the street, literally in the middle of an intersection in this small little town, I found a decent size Ziploc bag, like this size, of weed, just sitting like right in the middle of the intersection. And I was hanging out with a bunch of friends down there. And, my friends are all Bay Area people, and they're kind of bougie and apparently too good for street weed. And I don't smoke anymore, and I'm sure as hell not going to fly with it. But I had an ounce of weed, and I was not about to let it go to waste. It's nearby this like old folks home, and I've seen many times like 3 or 4 of the old folks home people come out and like take their glaucoma medication, if you know what I mean. So I was waiting for like some old people to come out and smoke weed, and then like try to give it to them. And the first lady that I saw ended up not taking her glaucoma medication, and she was just smoking a cigarette. And like, never in my life did I think I would find myself on a dark street corner in California offering a old lady free weed. Wasn't going to charge for it, just trying to give it away. Didn't want it to go to waste. Asked her if she knew any people who smoked weed. Nope. Not in California. And then it started raining really hard, and I gave up. But the next morning, I went down to this little cafe to try to get coffee, and to get coffee. And I walk into this cafe, and I'd been in there a few times. They make good coffee, which is why I was there. And I'm like, this is a really random question, but the barista guy, I'm like, do you smoke weed, or do any of your guys back in the kitchen smoke weed? Because I know this is a restaurant, and I've worked in restaurants, and I know if you're looking for somebody who smokes weed, people who work in restaurants, you're gonna find somebody. And he's like, yeah, man. And I'm like, all right, well, here's this deal. I told him the story. I'm like, this is street weed. I did find this in the middle of the street. So, but I'll go back and I'll bring it back to you, and I'll give it to you for free. Proceed with caution. Because this was in the little town, this wasn't like on the streets of San Francisco that I found it. Like, I was not really too worried about fentanyl or anything being a thing with this. But if I had found it in the streets of San Francisco, I probably would have either tested it or thrown it away. That would be a lot higher risk, I think. But given that this is a small town in this very relatively affluent, minimal risk. So I leave it with the guy finally. And it was a good amount. I think I have a picture of it. I mean, what do? take a picture of it. Like, I think it was probably about an ounce. I rebagged it and labeled it street weed. So anyways, I mean, through this entire thing, like, there's a 17-year-old me inside of me who's screaming at now almost 47-year-old me, like, what the fuck are you doing? You found an ounce of weed in the street and you're about to go give it away. Regardless, I give it to the guy, get my coffee, go back down to get another latte a little bit later that day. And oh my God, their entire staff was just so baked. And all of them smiling, saw me come in, were like the biggest smiles, like couldn't even keep a straight face about it. So I'm glad I found the right home for the giant bag of street weed. Never did I think that I would be giving away an ounce of weed that I found for free. But that was probably the more notable of stories that I that I had when I was there. Yeah, I was texting Cameron because I was watching YouTube and I was like, noticed something. I was like, wait a minute, are homeschooling picker and part-time pickers a couple now? Am I gathering the information correctly? And apparently they are. And it's been going on for quite some time, and I just haven't noticed. And he asked me how I was doing, and I told him where I was with this whole project. Yeah, that is kind of stuff that I have no interest in keeping up with. Good for them. That is all I have to say about it. Congrats to, like, I care so little. If they found happiness with each other, good for them is all I have to say. All right, we're on. No, we have two more things. These green light bulbs, they are fluorescent. That old style before we had LED. People still want these though. I have a few different sizes and models. The person who bought this just came in and bought all of this size, which is 7 of them. They're all in for $36.80. And yeah, that's pretty good. I'll take that. I got them for free from the same yard sale where I bought all the matches. Where are they going? They're going to Arizona. Ground Advantage, $2. Let's see here, 12. Wait, no, 864. It's gonna be like $7.15. How much is a priority? $9.94. I don't care about that then. Oh wow, there is a difference. 2 pounds. What would 10-10-10 be? Does it actually change? No. Okay. I mean, like, there is very much a part of me that, like, was to a surprising degree, I feel like, really just was not, like, unwilling to just throw free drugs away. And honestly, like, I don't think any free drugs I would just throw away. And I mean, like, so I have nothing against smoking pot. The only reason why I don't smoke pot is because it doesn't play well with the Adderall. Like, it brings out all the negative stuff about that comes along with, marijuana use. There are some negatives, paranoia and all that stuff, anxiety. It just compounds that if taken with Adderall. Like, I can take from time to time, like, half a weed gummy at the end of the day, but usually I'm going to end up way oversleeping the day after, so I can't be doing anything, which means I have to plan ahead. And generally means that I have to, like, not be productive the morning after, which is, unfortunately, not a lot of days I can do that anymore, which sucks. And I miss weed. Like, if I'm gonna like take a day off for drugs, it's probably gonna be something more than just a little more fun than just smoking weed. Oh yeah, she got okay. So first of all, that was Tracy's idea. I'm just the only one who did it, and apparently pissed off the homeschool picker. So whatever, she called it out on, like, one of the early episodes of Trash to Cash. I did learn how to do the Kentucky accent, though, to be fair. I have you seen me bake a cake. There you go. Still remember it 2 years later. We sold 100 scrap records on the Etsy. They don't have to be great. They just got to stay together. Scam likely. Pass. There we go. Gonna go the way that we always ship these. It just makes sense, right? Same as we do the 78. Do though is we are going to do our tensile strength circulars before we put the heavy thing in. Fuck. Try it again. How did that? What? How the hell? What? Did this just completely somehow magically turn around in the thing? Try it. These will come in handy later. Them some heavy records. Kill them all. Yeah, there we go. £31. I think that's it. I think we have 2 late arrival postcards, but I'm not going to worry about those right now. Yeah, we done. I have, let's see here. Orders awaiting payment. I'm going to have to message one guy, basically tell him, hey, you better get on this or this order is going to auto cancel and you're going to get a defect. See, he got, 24 hours to pay. That puts me at like $75 in unpaid items currently. Carl, you're just on time. We're done. Thanks for coming. We'll be back tomorrow. Don't worry. Hope you all have a great day. Hope sales are better. We'll be back tomorrow. We at least have 2 postcards to ship. What are we at dollar-wise for the day? $79.44 before people pay. So that ain't too bad. But yesterday was $200. The day before that was $200. The day before that was $184. Day before that, $158. Friday was $244. Thursday, $136. That was the day I left. Wednesday, $272. Thursday, though, was the day that it was the longest handling time, 3 days. After that, I brought it down to 2. But yeah, it's been since the 30th since I went over $300. And before that, it was pretty much every day with a couple of exceptions. Like the sales graph for February is about half of what it was for January. That's fucked. So hopefully it gets better. All right, everybody. Catch you on the Flip Flop. Peace out. Bye.